Hey everybody, welcome into the DobberCast as we are now going to currently be talking about Attack on Titan, but let's get into what we've been up to. So, I'll start with top left being Scott.
How you doing? Uh, First of all, I just want to say I'm so happy to be back. Um, Podcasting is the thing that I really wanted to get in the first place. We kind of took a break and went a different way, so I'm really happy to be back. I'm Scott. I'm one of the EU judges currently, so I'm no playing competitively. Um, aye, that's about it. You
Right.
get to know me.
Down below me currently is Adam.
Hello everyone, my name's Adam. I am the resident B team and sub for the Dobbers most of the time for podcasts and stuff, so happy to get on when I can. I am playing competitively, unlike Scott. I'm the guy that keeps trying to make Crash work, despite everyone's best interests, and probably swap to Godzilla because we smash things instead. But I must relive the no days. That's about it for me.
And I'm Connor, Sea Dog Online, known by very, very few people apparently, but we'll not go into it. We've been away for a while. We've been doing a lot of different stuff. Probably the best way to put
Life caught up with
I will.
us. I mean,
I think it's just life really got in the way. New jobs, kids. Um, so
moving.
it's good to make some time just to talk. Obviously, this format's a bit different to what we used to. We used to meet up in person. That's just not possible these days. So I think this is how we'll be doing it going forward.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like as I say, like so Scott's all the way up north now. Like we're all over the place. I think trying to locate us all in one time. Maybe it could happen. Maybe once every
Well, we could
few
do one of
months or
these
something.
from.
But
That's fine. We'll record one on our phones at Nottingham.
that as well.
A Christmas special.
Christmas special.
An event special.
Aye. Well, at some point we'll try and make it work, but I think for the kind of current time, this will be the format so that we can do this more regularly. Get podcasts done.
Cool.
So we should probably have a quick, small rundown of what we've been up to this year. A wee bit of an additional bit of
You mean in life in
introduction.
general? It's June. I've done a
Just
lot.
what we've been doing within the game. What's all been happening? Scott obviously mentioned Judge Scott
Yep.
recently.
So I kind of started judging at the last EU nationals, and I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it. I'll be honest. And halfway through that day, I wasn't enjoying it.
Look in your face. You
Oh,
walked past at one point.
But obviously as that day went on, I kind of found my rhythm, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually quite good." And I judged the last regionals there, down at Sheffield, and I was stream judge, and I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it.
You got to see the best games all day, though. Oh, is Elgin Internet caught up with him?
Watching games.
There we go.
Oh, am I away?
So
A stream judge, like just watching games is absolutely amazing. You've got to be like on the ball, and it's really difficult because you need to know what everything does, and you're like, oh, watching every card. So I got to see some amazing decks and amazing gameplay that day, and I'll be judging the next regional in at the end of July, and I'll be stream judge again. So, aye.
So, Adam, what have you been up to? Game?
let's think. Well, we've obviously played locals every single week as much as I can, if I'm not in a different country or busy. Trying to test out as many decks as I possibly can. I think I'm resident has 8 deck builds at once because I have too many. But it's Karashev last week. But played at the last regionals and came 16th, though there was no top 16 this time around, sadly. So it wasn't a bad showing. Picking younger Toguro. But other than that, I'll be at the next regionals. Obviously, I'm one of the many chauffeurs. Drive the rest of the team around. Just see who gets there first. Or my electric car might stop halfway. We'll see what happens. But I'll see what damage things we come up for the next regionals. It'll just be Godzilla's out. I mean, it kind of bit shamed Girl Power didn't get any events for its release. It's getting the big dinosaurs overshadowing it, but it should be fun anyway. Other than that, I'm just baking decks, playing games, trying to buy cars before Connor does.
I buy them at a reasonable manner, I'll have you know, right?
You don't. There was an update, and then you go, "Oh, gone."
Yeah.
I'll show you the pictures if you want. Hang on.
So for myself, obviously, I do not get time to play this game as much anymore. So I have to kind of like pick and choose my mode. I think at the end of last year, I was kind of in the same boat as Scott, where I was contemplating judging, and then I kind of get bit by the competitive bug. I think's what happened. I took the new deck and did shockingly well with it, and I was like, I don't get this thrill if I'm judging. like, so like, obviously the last regional, I took the showdown deck, the 20 copies of it. Is let's go for this. Practiced half an hour with it, and then ran with it. So ended up 6th place, which wasn't too bad on 2 hours sleep. So I thought that was all right. You know, it's a shame you get errated. Yeah, but
That's a 20 health player. You're
yeah,
sucked there.
but for this regionals, I think Godzilla is going to see so much play. Mainly me. I'm playing Godzilla.
I expect to see a lot of Gajira. Like
Yeah,
there's got to be quite a lot.
Aye.
Or like cards from those decks. Just where you're mentioning your competitive bug. It's actually quite funny. Like I've actually got no desire to play competitively anymore. Like none. I don't care. I played the Wish, obviously, got top 16 there. And it was great. And I was like, oh, this is cracking because I think it's the best I've did by myself since starting playing this game in 2018. But I don't really care until they bring back character cards. I won't be playing competitively again. I don't think.
Yeah. So I think
like, wish to bring that back, especially for like
yeah.
a Nat win or something like that. You make your own character card, not just giving a one of congratulations card. But man,
Yeah, I think OP has to change quite drastically. I personally was in the camp of I liked the concept of what they started to do, hoping it would work. Obviously, it didn't. You know, like the whole qualifying point system. I know I personally was somebody who was suffering from having to work through it, just to qualify for an event. That sucked. Like, if there was ever a moment in time where I would have just been like, I might as well just be a judge because I can't get to events. Like, I was jumping through so many hoops to get to these events.
I was having to try and deliberately schedule my own work away from weekends so I can actually get to events.
Yeah, I was just yeah. I appreciate the attempt they made at something like that. I think, but I still think the point system should apply to just national. I think if you get a year qualify and make 10 points, I don't even know if they'll change the number, but 10 points to get enough qualify for nationals gives it that little bit of a kind of like sort of gate, but kind of like something you have to work towards. You know, I don't like the idea of the top 8 getting the paid flights and hotels and all that sort of stuff, and all they did is show up to one event. Do you know what I mean? Like, personally, I think that's like
there's a bit of effort for
rough. Yeah, like have some level of effort attached to getting to the party, you know.
Aye.
But for regionals, yeah, they got rid of their points. They sucked. That was that.
Yes, aye.
Worth
Mad Dash, can you make it?
Yeah,
month?
yeah. We even take ones like Quincy and stuff like that. I mean, literally a former champ couldn't qualify for the regionals because he couldn't get any local qualifiers.
I do hope he's playing at the next one though.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I hope that we had 44 was it, something like that. That last one.
No idea.
Something like that. It was definitely like 40s, but I know it didn't break the 50s. Hopefully, this one, I'm hoping we see at least 75.
I hope. I mean,
Yeah.
just depends how good Nottingham is for other people to get to. We're insane and we'll drive anywhere. Those are different. So
Yeah.
Very
Which
much,
is
aye.
like further for us.
Apart from London.
it's an hour. It's another hour further away. It's also not London. Fuck. No.
Yeah, no. That's too far.
Scott's car gets stopped at the fucking M1 anyway, not letting.
But aye. Anyway, we kind of went off on a tangent as
Always
we knew we
happens.
would.
We knew it was
Yep.
going to happen.
Always happens. Let's get back on track, mate.
Yep.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Attack on. Does anyone know this anime?
Yes.
It's,
I've seen
I go for it, Scott.
I've seen maybe 1.5 seasons. I kind of got annoyed with when the wee guy turned into one of the giants, and I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. I just lost all interest. Like, it was young guy versus giant, and then he is a giant, and I was like, it's not.
Yeah, I started watching it. Watched like the first 3, whatever, 4, whatever it was. I've stopped like before the last 2 seasons. I was like that. The main character of annoyed the ever loving life out of me, Eren Yeager. Genuinely the worst character in anime. Might be your favorite anime out there. Still terrible, by the way. And then I last watched the finale and everything like that. I could have got my life back. I really could have. I take a refund on the couple hours I used to watch that.
I watched Attack on Titan via episode summaries on YouTube. so I kind of know the entire story, sort of. But if there's any fine details, I definitely don't know. And if you ask me names, I don't know. It's a whole My Hero scenario again. Everyone's getting a.
Oh yes, do we get to make up new names for them?
Yeah, random ass. I'll give it that. The anime's animation was great.
Eren's the whiny. Is he the whiny one?
He's the most hated character. Yes,
yeah, he's the
and the main character.
And the main character. Okay. And you've got the goth chick, batters people. With the red scarf.
The goth chick. Aye.
Goth
chick.
What the fuck is
she called? Again?
It's an M or something, isn't it? Is it?
It's completely gone out of my head.
Michelle.
I don't know. Michonne. I don't know. Aye. And then you've got the blonde
Mikasa?
with the books. Mikasa. Yeah, let's go with it. It's as good as an attempt I'm going to make.
I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying.
I think those are the 3. My favourite character, though, is Brock Lesnar, who becomes big.
The Armor Titan.
Who becomes that one. Yep. Okay, right. I just like the idea of Brock Lesnar's music hitting and he breaks through the wall. Right? It's just, I want that on a mat if I'm going to buy one. But the rest of the characters, honestly, they've got nicknames. You'll have to run with the motions. Listen, everyone had to do it when I started My Hero stuff, right? And eventually listen, some of those names were genius, right? You all thought when All Might 7 came out and I didn't have a new nickname from, and then I had it. So yeah, nicknames will be ready. You'll anticipate them. You'll know them. People who know the show will know. Which is. But yeah, we're now into the season of Attack on Titan. We're pseudo skipping the Godzilla hype. I've got a couple of deck profiles, dollars over a little bit on that one, just out of the fact that I've made far too many Godzilla decks and I want to show them. So.
I have been busy looking at my stuff.
Oh my god, so many format versions, it's so good. So yeah, we're on Attack on Titan. So the main thing we're going to start with will be the artwork.
Aye, I'm gonna lead this one off, mate. If me wants to talk about it. So it's not just the artwork, like in its entirety. Like it's the styling of the cards as well. So I totally get that they've taken panels from the manga and used them, right? And I appreciate that. Like that's fine. I understand it's an older style of art, and uh, aye, it's got an aesthetic, right? So that doesn't bother me as much. What what does bother me is the font for a start. On all the enhances, you've got the kind of jagged edges, like all the way like around the border of the card. Um, are you guys still there, by the way?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
still
we're still
there,
here.
but we
We're letting you
have
talk.
You just listening?
we're letting you.
Yeah, we're
Um,
He's cooking.
letting you
He's
go.
cooking.
I'm just like the styling, the art style of the numbers, like your difficulty numbers, and on your damage, and I don't know. There's just something about it that it's not clean. That's what it's not crisp, and I think that I've been playing too long where it has been crisp, and now it's just offending my eyes. Now I'll go over it, right? I will go over it because I go over deflect, and that was a whole other thing.
That will be a
But
video in its
right,
own right.
but right now, I just I just don't like it. Now, people that do know me know that I do not care what these pictures are on this card. I don't give a monkeys. It could be my favourite thing in the whole world, and I still don't care. And it's just the words I'm concerned about. What the card does. That's all I care about. I'm here for the game, not for collecting cards. I'm not a magpie. But the fact that this is actually stuck out to me means that it's a problem. I don't know if it's a problem for everybody else because everybody's different, right? Everybody's got their own taste. But for me personally, I do not like the style of these cards. Scene.
I think aye. 100 for sure. I would agree with it. The art style obviously is older manga. Older mangas or style artwork, and apparently the artwork gets better the later the mangas come out. So it's different types of artwork within the same product will annoy the life out of me because I'd rather there's consistency with it. But again, the same as Scott, as long as the card's good and the card plays well, then it can look like anything. I might not like it, but I'll get over it. I mean, there's a picture of man with gun, and okay, picture of gun. I gotta agree with yourself, Scott. I was too used to the crisp stuff for the past few sets, the nice lines,
Yep.
nice edges, and everything
Yep.
like that. I'll call that as part of being an engineer. I like everything looking nice and neat and aesthetic, but I get what they're going for with it. It's meant to be like the whole everything's destroyed and broken was part of like the anime's like theme of the Titans kind of thing. But I just some of it I'm not 100% on. I mean, it's a nice change to see a bit of a change to the artwork and taking a different way kind of thing. But yeah, I would have preferred it was nice and crisp and clean because just flicking through pictures, I went from Attack and Titan cards to My Hero cards there from Gold Power, and I'm like, I like that one. I like the nice, crisp My Hero in comparison. But aye, that's me. Connor.
Aye, no, I totally, I know exactly what you're saying. Sorry, Connor.
No.
Um, I totally agree, mate. It isn't it? It's like it just takes you like what is that? Why is that like that? Why is it not the same?
It'll look a wee bit
Uh,
weird with playing with the older cards as well. But obviously, just in the spotlight format, it'll all be homogeneous. But again,
yeah.
I'm going to have cards that are going to stick out in the hand a wee bit, and it'll be a bit weird for like standard and any other format the cards playing.
No, I totally agree. But and I'm no like bashing it. I'm going to make that clear. I'm not bashing or attacking any Titans here. I'm just voicing my opinion that I don't like it. And aye, and people are free to like what they like.
I suppose my thought as well, because I have watched the anime series and haven't obviously got all the art from My Hero is pretty much taken from the anime, and the artwork for the anime for Attack on Titan was really nice and really crisp at setting the points. I think when I first saw this, I knew I was going to get the manga art, but still seeing this, I was like, oh, that's too different. Oh, but
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get used to it as a difference. But there's nothing up there.
So, I'm going to drop a very rare
He loves it, doesn't
No.
he?
So, there is parts I love. So one of my small takeaways of why so like for instance, if I flash up Levi's overhead one, right, I get it's taken from the panel, right, but then when I look at other cards, there's ones that are also fully boxed, for instance, and
It's an impact frame from
yeah,
from a comic kind of
from the
thing.
comic. So I get what it's doing. My tiny issue is looking at it right now. I'm looking at it going, I don't know if it just looks as if there's not a lot on the card. You know that way. I'm different to Scott a little bit where I do like the art a little bit as well. Like more like nice arts will attract me to stuff. Some of them I'm just like, so I'm looking at one and I'm like, there looks like there's a lot of black borderless stuff happening to the
Yeah.
sides of it. But then like I look at the next one down and it's fully arted up. It's my only small gripe. I think because they've done both, you know.
Yep. Aye. So like grab the moment.
Yeah.
If you can pull up, yeah, like there's a load of empty space there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
aye.
I would agree on that one. Even with like the Godzilla cards, it still has the black border, but it's the full art box is filled in.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, if again, I'll say one as well, Dangerous Gambit, which is picture of gun.
Yep.
It's like a tiny little frame. I know it's a panel. That's the art style they're going for it. It just looks like a ton of dead space to me.
Yeah. One of the big mega props I'll give them is I know like most of the older mangas are like all black and white, so the fact they've had to color shade everything in.
Yes,
One of the coolest things, I think this might legit be one of my favourite artistic things they've done, right, is the background is the colour of the symbol.
Yeah.
And I think
I noticed that as well.
Is
I did not notice that.
So like air,
I was waiting until we started talking before I brought it up.
If you look at death, it's like that kind of reddy colour. Green for life.
Yep.
Fire's got the orange and stuff like that. And it's on everything. And it might genuinely be the coolest artsy thing I've seen done to a card in this game. And that's going to be set wide, I would imagine. And I think that's going to hit, like for these attuned stuff, I think that's going to set so much of an easy precedent for them as well.
It color codes them really well for unless it's like an action when it's bright blue. But yeah.
Yeah, it was just I think somebody had mentioned it and I thought that's the coolest thing that I've noticed about it.
I will say though, for the art style,
really sorry.
I was going to say, I've just gone back to them again. See all the Titan faces, like the close-ups are all the Titan faces and all those cards. I like them. They're really cool.
Yeah,
they're really nice bits of like panel art, like open wide is the full card and everything. But sorry, back to them. They're really nice.
Now that that's been pointed out to me about the color coordination. I actually really like that. That is cool. You're right.
It adds such a level of detail.
You know, I appreciate it.
And I think it's going to even look better when you see the ones that are foils as well. You know, because the foils, let's be honest, the foils have been popping off big time in this game.
Foils have been really nice in the last few bit, but again, I think if you saw UK versus Twitch stream, they had, is it Chloe they had on? No, Zoe. Sorry, they had Zoe on, the art director, and they're going for a special type of foiling with this set, I believe, like impact foil or whatever it was. So it might look for some higher rarity cards. So I have to wait and see what it looks like in person. But I had noticed as well. Again, I'm flicking through like the other day. There's a couple of the cards that are multi-frame. I know we said it's comic frames, but if you look at like this is my, which one was it? Was the coolest one?
Chance.
Last second dodge. He's punching from panel to panel. He punches through the panels, which is really cool. So again, I said, yeah. Some of it, I'm like, but some of that's pretty cool.
I never noticed that actually. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I think they've done a really good job coloring it all in. You know.
Yeah. I'm sure the art style will grow on me, but still, 50-50.
I don't know what it is about the font as well. Like your enhanced fonts and stuff. I don't know what.
They have changed the font, haven't they? It's a bit odd.
Yeah, they've changed the font, and I don't know why. Why have you done this?
So I think the font overall is roughly similar. I think there's just some photos that don't do it justice, but like, see when you're on the actual site, Scott, font does look
Yeah.
normalised. Yeah, but I have seen a
It's,
handful of photos of like some of the cards when they get revealed and they don't look right. I will say the font on the names. I'm with you guys on that one though. Right now, at least, like maybe in person, that changes a wee bit. But
It's it's a slight change to the font, but I'm like, it's just enough for me to notice.
I don't know. It's like it's went from Arial to Times New Roman. That's what it's like.
I was going to say there about the big thing, just when I was talking about the art and the cards and everything, card layout, keywords are back where they should be. Keywords are under the card name again.
I'll be honest, I'm still in the camp of I don't think it mattered. That's all.
I
didn't, but I just like them being back there.
I think it mattered. The
amount
of times I've been hit with stun that I couldn't see.
Because of the card,
and I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Or EX are powerful, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that had powerful.
Can't see it's but I just always it always looked like a little bit of an also ran or kind of secondary thing, but it's like a lot of cards with those keywords, that's the thing they did. So was it not up there? But having either place you could work with, but it should be middle of the card right there, everyone can see it kind of thing.
Again, I think they could have did that a wee bit better as well, like just a straight black line across. and it's do you know, it's because it's only there on cards with keywords, and cards that don't have keywords don't have the black line, and it throws me, man. I'm like, why? Just put it in.
I think the black line really stands out in all the text boxes as well. I know it's meant to really stand out, but it really breaks the colour of everything for me. And it's like almost looks a wee bit bad because it doesn't match the black of the borders, obviously. But then it's a darker colour than everything around it. So it really was like, ugh.
We're going to get slated for this.
We're going to get torn to shreds by everyone else. I'm sure. Hi, Brett and Rich.
I get where you're coming from, though. As I say, I've always like, I think as a player, I've always been just much more adaptable. Like nothing really throws me in the game, you know. So like,
a 5-hand man who just plays there.
Yeah, like I play the same symbols, you know. I play the same cards in basically every deck. Like, you know, I do what I do, and I do it well. Not acknowledged well, but I do it well. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me too much. The overall art is such, but it's my only tiny takeaway is see the numbers inside like the zone damage.
Yep.
Again, in person it might be fine, but on looking at them on the screen, for me personally, I'm definitely somebody who tries to like, you know, like point out stuff for people with like bad eyesight. You know, as all of us are wearing specs. Like if I do this, it starts to get very tough, you know. So it's the same. It was the same when they were like.
Can't see my monitors.
It's the same when they were tweaking with like color differentials and stuff in the game. I was like, there's a fine line.
They have made the symbols bigger.
Yes.
At the bottom too, which is good.
Also, bear in mind, everybody, the bottom symbol that's at the bottom left is not the death symbol, right?
Yes, as everyone was saying.
Yeah, because I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something, right? When I seen all these 18 cards, I says, "Fuck, that's a lot of death in this set."
I knew someone would have done.
I went. Why are they showing all the symbols with just death and something? I went, that's an odd choice. And then it was pointed to me. It's like, no, that's the set symbol. And I went, oh, that is actually where that goes.
God, I started scratching off deck ideas.
Well, no, then I started looking at it going, like, what symbols have they got? And then a tune comes in.
That's true. Good segue. So onto the new thing.
That was a nice segue into a tune. Oh, superb.
We're all older players. Oh, sure. Well, we're all older players. We've played since, me and Connor, since the first Bebop in 2018, and you're about the same time, Scott? You just
I was just before Mortal Kombat. Oh,
you were
just as Mortal Kombat was getting released.
Okay, so we've all played back in the days where we could symbol splash. So if anyone didn't know that, you'd have your deck wasn't locked to one symbol. Your deck could be all three of your character symbols. Essentially, we just had to play, what was it called again?
You had to chain.
Chaining in the card of the pool. So each card you played has to match the symbol of the card previously played on it, and it has to chain its way through the card pool. So easiest way to do it was play off of one symbol, but we could splash in a card off of another card, not on any of the same symbols as the rest, other than the character, just as a splash essentially. So the most common one for me was Revoke. Connor can show Revoke, best card. So that was a E cancel that enhance. Sorry, response cancel that enhance remove itself. So left the card so it couldn't clog you. But back in the day, you would run the risk of someone putting down a card pool and stopping your turn, kind of thing. So it had its downsides.
Or you just made the mistake, which I think.
Or you messed
DK,
up, which we all did.
Is always like the big
because
notice.
DK's Johnny Cage deck was too big brain for anyone to understand, including DK. But I believe it's tuned, as far as I understand it, is kind of the same thing. So if you have built, say Connor's built his deck on Earth, but his character has the air symbol as well, he can play air tune cards in the deck still. But does it just ignore the chain? Is chain still a thing?
I think it ignores chain. I don't think chain is a thing that's coming back. Or is
Right,
back
okay,
yet, so just scrap that as a thought pattern.
Okay.
So so you said
that was my question.
You said it bang on. So if you have a card that's got the wee square, say Earth, for instance, your character's got Earth, but maybe you're playing it on all, right? Like you can still put that into the deck and play as normal. Because the thing with it as well that I think newer players will probably not realise is because we're old and stuff like that and we know things as chaining to have been a thing, it's never actually been a thing in universes. So like the idea of you having to follow a symbol across a line never was a thing. So like for these players, I think the cool thing they've got going for them is that now I get to like look at other symbols within my character now, you know.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, so it was probably a bigger mind effect for us as older players going, how the hell does this work with chaining in our head? But newer players don't have to think about that. They just go, oh, I get to play more cards.
Yeah.
So, do you know what? I'm all for it. Right? I'm all for it. I actually think this is going to be great, and it's going to open up so many deck building opportunities.
Yeah.
I am sad that it's not as good, right? But I get splashing symbols at home, right? And it's not actually that bad. I don't really care. I'll get to play other symbols.
I actually think it's actually better than splashing, right? No, because here's the thing, right? You can attune multiple symbols, right? With zero fear of having to chain now, right? Which means the deck building potential is now more. It has to be considered as more than when we had to splash. Because the thing was, right, when you were splashing symbols, right, the thing you always had to remember was at that point you had to then look at the ratios of everything. Like, I can't do if I'm playing off of all, right, I can't do too much Earth, because if you then get hit with all Earth and a couple all doesn't share the symbols, your hand was dead so often.
Can't play that. I'm kind of thinking though at this point, because I like a tune. Tune's pretty cool, but if there's no restriction in the amount you can attune, obviously that would be deck building limitations are always something good to build around, kind of thing. But if there's no limit to how much you can attune, you could build your chaos deck, but actually have 0 chaos cards in it, and just attune with every other symbol in your character.
100%. Yeah. Like I think it creates more options, like than just splashing symbols.
Aye, but the thing is, right, with splashing symbols, your card didn't have to share any symbols at all.
This is true.
Like,
it had to share a character symbol.
I had to share one.
Not Disney.
Oh, you're talking about just playing things for a check. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know what he's talking about now. Yeah.
If you're playing like Johnny Cage and
obviously,
Uniting the Cosmos was in every deck.
The most famous one, Biako Uniting the Cosmos.
Yes, yeah.
On top. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, no, I'm with Scott there. That is true. But I wouldn't argue that was necessarily splashing symbols more than you just being a guy that put a random card in your like I don't remember Tim Keith being like, oh yes, Uniting the Cosmos was just thrown in at the end because I might check it.
I can put it
but you don't check. But no, Uniting the Cosmos in the Biako deck was put there deliberately.
I just stack it and then
Yeah.
go, I blocked that.
Aye, but you were the
Like
only
froze again.
Biako player.
United
Actually,
so
who
hard he
did
left.
that. He actually splashed his internet.
Like, it just gives me hope that Revolt can come back one day and we can actually just say no.
Now we'll get another
Some
five.
stuff.
We'll get another five. We're fine. Nah, I think overall, Attuned is actually a very cool thing.
Yeah.
I think it will also, on a deck building level, really show up like player skill as well. To be honest, because something I've definitely noticed with this game in the current format is that picking up a deck and playing it has been shockingly easy. At least if you're like relatively average at the game, you can pick up a deck.
Everything's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Not,
I
so
think
like,
the most
but like
complicated deck might
Attuned,
be
I think
Marco
changes it
now.
up a lot. Attuned changes things up again because now you've got play styles coming into decks that wouldn't normally have that as a playstyle unless you go all in on it, you know.
Yep.
So there's definitely going to be cards that like me or you might take that Scott would never touch, for instance. You know, just because the playstyle.
Scott doesn't touch the good ones half the time, but
that's true. That's why he's a judge. So like, no, I think it's going to be blooming awesome. I don't know how much we're allowed to swear or how much I have to edit the swearing out for YouTube, but
I think I've sworn like twice so far. But past the minute mark, you're okay.
A few times, yeah. So no, I'm looking forward. I think it's.
So do you remember though? Oh, when do you go?
No, you go, mate.
I was gonna go into the bit about the one thing everyone's brought up, and Murray did himself. He can't join us sadly. Was the thing with Attune though? You might come out with that one super strong card, ultra rare, secret rare on Attune symbol X. That is the best card ever, and it's in every single deck, and it's format warping and busted price wise. So that would be the only thing. Obviously, we haven't seen the rest of yet, so that would be the only thing we might need to.
Here's my rebuttal to that, right? I think if you've got Attune cards that are blooming busted, right, it's so much easier to fix that by errata those cards or banning them. Because
I don't want them to print a card that has to be banned though. It's always the saddest thing. A card comes out,
nobody wants that
and gets
to ever
banned.
happen. Nobody ever wants that to happen. But in the event that it does happen, I think Attune cards will. So like a busted card, right, within a format is tough to figure out when only a handful of characters utilise it in a really meta warping way. If you have Attune cards that theoretically go into every deck, you're going to see that tournament information so much faster and be able to respond in kind. Like,
yeah, that's true.
If you take the way they had to deal with, say, Younger Tagoro as a very easy example, they had to go through about 3 cycles of tournaments before they realised, no, it's him. He's the problem. But they banned like 6 different things. But they banned, right? But think about it, right? They banned Snack Time, which was arguably one of the only cards ever played in any other symbol other than Earth, right? Everyone on Earth needed that card because we're all 5 fucking handers, right? But then this one guy on Death, right, with a 6-hander got it banned, right? Fucking wrecked all my decks, right?
Cards in hand.
So then,
just get rid of them.
But then we are at him, right? But we didn't get fucking Snack Time back. I'm on a rant now, right? But we didn't get Snack Time back, did we now? No, we bloody didn't, right? And it needs fixed, right? I'm telling you now, that card needs to come back because it didn't do anything wrong. The errated character was the problem. Losing Mock Strike, fair play. It was floating in too many decks. It's an old card. We have understood old cards are too powerful in current meta. We all know it. We all accept it.
Still funny for me that a card that was a good rare back in the day is just busted in the current format.
Yeah, it shows you the key. But
it's actually
come back.
But it's actually really funny because I bring this up time and time again, right, about the reprinted cards. Like, obviously your first big one win nature. Nobody played it. The DC play. What is this guy? Throw that. This is a nice wee shiny.
One with nature is the best card ever to get banned. Simply out of the fact everyone's like it's busted. Everyone was like, no. Why
aren't you playing one with nature? It's not very good.
Like, people were struggling to get copies, and I was like, I've got like 20 copies at home because I just had them.
It gives you both hours of platinum.
You know, let me just get them out the bin.
The old one,
yeah. Like cards like that, it shows you the power creep that we existed in.
That was a Mega
you
Man
know?
card. That was before
Yeah.
the SoulCal power creep. That was a thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Yeah,
even
no.
power creep. That was just this card was for some reason too powerful for this format.
Yeah.
Aye,
But
this was,
I mean, it did
Mob
exist for
Strike
Back Alley.
is one that I'll agree with.
yeah, Mob
Aye.
Strike
Mob
needed to
Strike
go.
definitely.
But Mob Strike
Aye.
needed to go because it ended up in like order decks and stuff as well. Like you and there was other.
It was in every deck you could
It
play.
was in every deck that you could play.
Yeah.
You know.
Aye.
I
I mean, Nezu loved it because Nezu drew 3 cards
Yeah.
off it.
It's like it just shows you, but like that's a prime thing of like they needed all the tournament data to show what was the problem. They eliminated in suit, errated and ban. I think the errata ban at the end is the fix, personally at
Aye.
least, right? But the stuff before it, I don't think was should be reviewed at least. I think if you ban something, it should be reviewed like at least every 6 months. You know, like
I think you review it probably the 2 sets away from it rotating just to see what it would be doing at that point. But the problem is if you've banned it, you've probably banned it, and then you're designing. It might have already that card not existing is the problem. So if then you reintroduce this card into the format that it shouldn't exist in for the design's sake, then it's a problem at that point for the actual health of the game.
Yeah,
would be the only thought there.
Potentially.
Obviously, I know they're like 2 years ahead of the design.
I'm in the same boat as Connor here. And the only reason, right, and it's the smallest piece of information that I have about One Piece, right? So One Piece had, I don't know, it was a character banned and some limited cards in red. In fact, there was loads of stuff limited and banned in red. And then as soon as Set 5 came out, Set 5 killed the power of the cards that were banned, so they just got reinstated. Like, it was like, oh, cool, there you go. Have your cards back, get them back on the board. And because they were irrelevant at that point, so it definitely should be reviewed. 100%. I know you're saying about design and how they might have designed something. It doesn't matter. It should still be reviewed and right. How does this fit in? The problem is there's not enough playtesting done. Players get a hold of cards, right, or they see
things that playtesters don't see a lot of. It happens all the time when a set comes out. They go, didn't expect that card to go well, and everyone goes, how did you not see that coming? It's the most obvious thing to the rest of the world. But again, the playtesters might be playing with a different goal in mind for the set, or be playing just within the set kind of thing. So the introduction of a card outside it could put the way they expect. I am one for obviously reviewing banned cards because Jada did nothing wrong, so he should definitely come back still. He didn't limit design space, and he was definitely a negative play experience for the other person.
Adam's just salty that I get Goro back for
retro. I have she still yet to beat it again in retro because fucking 40 health.
No, I think it's definitely something they could look at as such, because I think when it comes to the design process, I think they're designing something like 2 years in advance as well.
Yes.
So like if something wasn't a problem to be designed and brought out, it's probably not impacting that far down the line, you know, as such. So
I'm kind of curious to see what the design process is like as well, because obviously AOT is a 300 card set. It's meant to be quite an insular set at the same time. It's meant to be you can just play the whole game within this one set kind of thing. So I'm kind of curious how the design process works within the set, and then when they take what they've done within the set and look at the rest of standard. Because how does that change the way the car is built for just AOT, or does that warp it too badly compared to what the original intent was?
It's an interesting line. We're kind of like mulling while we wait for Scott to come back as well, to be fair.
He's back, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Is he back? He's closing on my screen.
All right. Sorry.
He's dancing on mine. He's just sitting still, I think. That's a rare occurrence.
He's got like the ultimate profile picture on my screen right now, which is it's getting used.
It's probably fine for me.
Fair enough, it's fine. We'll roll with it.
So, right, the next big one. Can I just take the lead on this, mate? Sorry, but I'm just so excited, right, to talk about. to talk about this and give my thoughts. Right? I've been itching all day. I've been like, "Ah."
We all have.
So what
Aye.
what I'm going to do for you, right, is I'm going to try and recreate me reading this article for the first time.
All right. I don't even know what he's going to read.
He's had this open the whole time, hasn't he?
So here we go. Introducing Blitz.
Oh,
Right.
right.
Was Blitz. Right, cool. In universes, the timing of when cards and abilities can be played is defined by timing keywords located
I
on
know
the card. Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Today we're excited to introduce Blitz. It's happening. What is Blitz? Blitz changes the timing. Oh, that's it, man. It's coming. Yes, I'm getting it. And for there, it all goes downhill.
Would you like to share the class what you thought Blitz was?
You didn't think you were getting reversal back, did you?
He did.
You're right, I did. Come on, right? You see when this article is talking about timing of playing cards. I'm like, this is it. We're getting reversal at home. We're getting something. We're going to be able to interact here. Yes, the timing's all getting changed. I'm going to get to do something on my opponent's turn.
I thought honestly we were just redoing Flash. I thought it was just Flash was getting renatured. That was it.
What did I get?
A second enhanced.
What did I get? I still don't get it. What did I get? What is this Blitz?
I'll tell you what you got. Right, no, I know what it is.
I need someone to explain to me what it brings to the game.
Right,
what does it do other than give me an extra enhanced step before my enhanced step?
I'll tell you, this is what it does, right? So what Blitz does, right, is that cleans up having wordy responses.
Is Blitz automatic or not automatic? Because it says on the cards it's automatic, but then it says in the you get to decide. But the card says it happens straight away.
The article says it's optional.
Yeah,
it's optional, but it says it's automatic. But is it automatic or optional? Because I don't want an optional automatic. It's automatic.
What does it say it's automatic though?
On the cards.
On the cards? Well, man, I'm going to look at the cards because I don't remember.
Blitz, this ability is played automatically at the start of the attacks and hand step. But it also says it's played at the start of the enhanced step. Is it your first enhance?
Oh, it's played. Oh, automatic? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not optional. It has to happen unless the cards are wrong.
No. So by saying this ability is played automatically, what it's saying is this ability triggers at the start of the enhanced step.
Nope, that's not what it says.
That's what it says.
How does an automatic door work? It opens straight away. Therefore,
not unless you don't approach it.
Cool, then you don't get then you just don't go. They haven't played the card.
So your automatic door is a flash attack. Well done. Like I'll be playing Blitz.
I just don't know why. I honestly just I don't know what it gives the game other than an extra keyword for some reason.
So
I get it. It's Blitz. It's meant to be really fast attacks because of round and ODM gear and stuff like that. But
I appreciate the fact that I think, right, this is one of those articles that, see, when I've said on multiple streams, read this as if you're a new player or a student, you really need to read it as a.
But that's the worst thing about it, because then they show the card that says something completely different.
No, so but if you want to be, there's not really a point being too pedantic on the.
I'm not. I'm reading the word automatic, which means it happens straight away.
Right.
That's what the word means.
Right. Yeah, but then when you go into rulings, like, it will explain it.
Well, then the card text is wrong.
The card text, but you don't know the rulings yet, so you're making an assumption based on literal information you don't know. So like, it's easy to dive on it, but reading through the article, what this does, right, is think of all the cards you had that said response, then had to explain when the response window opens for it, big wordy texts, and some of them don't even truly explain how they get played, right? What Blitz does is essentially, it is a response, right, that you do at the very start. No. It's no. But what
it's not a response. It happens automatically between responses and enhancers.
So if you be a new player for a second, right,
No, I want to be a Magic player. It's an enter the
No.
battlefield effect for our cards.
Uh-huh. Right, okay.
It's just enter the battlefield.
Right.
That's all this is to me.
So new players have a big issue, right? Which is response time windows are something you have to really learn, right? Nobody will ever deny that. It's always been a thing, right? And there's a lot of times where a response entry window, right? Because you've got static, then you've got response entry windows.
There you go. Blitz entry
these
windows
kind
and
of
they've got
cards.
enhances.
So yeah, so what you've got now, right, is instead of having massive wordy text boxes, Yu-Gi-Oh text boxes to have a bunch of responses on them, you've now got Blitz that essentially saying, right, we've now got to the enhanced step, do this. You know, instead of, oh, you've got to remember to do that before we get to enhances, all this sort of stuff. Oh, remember to read all that card. Like, that's what it's doing. And the other thing for newer players as well is when you read a card and you see the enhance and stuff like that, you get ready to do it and then it just doesn't happen. It creates one of the things they're having to do right now is make this game very accessible to new players. You have to allow them that window of opportunity to develop the game for new players. Like, I personally don't want this game to exist the way we started, where our nationals were at tops 30 people. I don't want that. I don't want that for our game. I appreciate the fact that these guys are looking at how can they make this game new player friendly, but it still gives you options. I mean, like, we can look at that one card that looks as if it's going to probably get banned because of the form part of it. But the whole Blitz
that
side
card
of
has
it,
sacrifice in it, which again, we're just taking Magic terms now. But again, is sacrifice and destroying for the triggered abilities of cards that say when you destroy your own foundation, or
well,
sacrificing its own
we have,
mechanic?
but sacrifice we have no knowledge of yet now, so there's no point even talking
Yes,
about it.
that's
Like,
that's one
currently,
of
from
these
the information we
clarified.
have on Blitz, is it such? I mean, it even says in the article, for instance, like many players, particularly new players, were expecting their cards to do something right away when played, right? Because they see the enhances, they go, "Oh, I get to do all this," and then, as I say, there's all these windows in between getting to the enhanced step. This does allow it to kind of be bracketed up a little bit better.
Oh, this is just so they don't have to put static text in every single attack.
Yeah, but static text also, if you flood the card pool with static text, it also sucks. Because I'll tell you what happens when you misplay your static text, you get judge damage. You know, because it becomes so. But this is the thing: you're wanting to make an argument to why we need this other keyword, and I'm showing you very easily.
I don't think we need it in the first place.
No,
I think this is unnecessary.
So if I go to one of the Blitz attacks, right? So I'll just scroll down, right? So
it could just say E, do the thing.
So we go to like one of the Blitz. So this one says Blitz. So if you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, add one with the printed difficult 3 to your card pool to your hand, right? And it says, and you're saying yes, which I would agree. You could say, yeah, it could just say enhance, right? But the amount of times
response, to be perfectly honest, because
it also could be a response.
Quite a fast attack.
Yep, and it could also be a response. That's the thing they've got to manage now, right? So do you now just have an influx of response cards in the game that do X, right? Or do you just have
card back if they do that?
Or do you just have a bunch of more enhances that doesn't solve the problem?
I get they want to speed up games. Obviously, we'll have to play competitively after play within an hour. So going back and forth, this cuts out me going enhance, you go enhance, me going. I go blitz, 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 blitz. You're enhance, my enhance, you enhance, my enhance, you enhance, my. It's just
to an extent, yeah.
It's just me doing 2 things at once to your one thing. Again, yes, that works really well in a card game for action economy kind of thing, but it just feels to me still that okay. It's so like, yeah, I'm in my head. That's a response, smashing.
Yeah, because you're an existing player, but a new player doesn't. But a new player doesn't think this. So this is where they're having to do this big balancing game right now. The way a lot of, like, I'm going to say old heads essentially want this game to be, in my personal opinion, they don't want this game to have a big player base. Because they want the game to be as complicated as it used to be, right? With no way of bringing people in, you know?
I don't know. How does this bring people in? It's another keyword. It's another layer to the attack step.
So when a new player looks at a card and sees enhance, right? The first thing you've got to then teach that person is, no, you can't do it straight away. We've not got to the enhance step yet. right? And then they get to the enhanced step and they go, right, there's like cards with like 3 enhances and 1 response and stuff. Like they go, oh, what do I do first? It's I'm going to say it, mental load, right? But it's an it is an overload of information that new players will essentially struggle with, right? Once it gets to that picking up the game part. These cards aren't going to be super plentiful, I don't think, anyway. I think there's going to be a handful of them, and they've even said it with the game
Probably not.
designer
Aye, there
themselves.
won't be tons.
They've already said that every card has to essentially have an element within the game that does a specific job. Blitz's specific job is it essentially does help somebody into the window of an attack without it just being a blast of information. And then you miss time. You know, like one of the easy blitz ones I think was the one that guys at K versus there's like one that says you can add something to hand and the other says you get damage to each card in their hand.
It's the two I'm looking at right now. I think
Yeah.
Levi, because they're both Levi cards, are most likely going to. He's going to be a blitz character, most likely, because
for instance, that's like a perfect example of right. That would be 2 enhances in the past,
Look,
for instance, right? That would be a lot.
I'm going to probably play both of Levi's cards. They both look good. They both look like they'd be powerful and good to play. But sure, blitz is very like okay to me. It's just going to be your response, my response, your response, my blitz. You have any blitzes on defense because it might be a blitz defense. We don't know. It could be interesting. But then it just goes back to man hands, your hands, block it. Yeah. Okay. I just don't think it adds anything.
But that's the thing. I think that's the issue that I think.
But it's not like you're getting rid of the enhanced step, Corey. You're still going. You do your blitz, and then we just go back to the enhanced step.
In this scenario, you're missing who it's for. You're not the new player.
I just don't know how it appeals to him. So
that's what I mean. I think that's the problem with a lot of these articles now, is they're really not focused on who should be reading them, because obviously everyone can read it and get some knowledge somewhere. But these articles are like showing off to really be designed towards new players, what's happening, and how it's going to become easier for a new player to pick up this game and continue playing it. Like, not every card's going to have blitz, because as they've said in the design process, there's going to be X amount of stuff that's designed for specific people in mind. So we're old players. Every rule's playable. It's not going to trip us up, you know. Like at no point in time do I expect you to play a game and be like, "Oh, I forgot the blitz. Oh
no, I will
scoop the table."
That's
you know,
just me.
Like, oh, that window's like that's not going to happen to us. But to a newer player, they will appreciate being able to segment the game going forward. You know, that's what it's there.
Oh, on you go.
Right, okay. I've been waiting. Right, I've been listening to the tweets and I'm like, oh, he's got some good points. Oh, he's got some good points. Right. So, aye, there is good points on both sides, right? And by the way, this is something for me. By the way, I can see the benefits and the negatives and both arguments here. Right. Normally, I'm just Mr. Negative. So what I'm going to do first of all, right, is. Aye, you're right, Connor. It's meant to be for new players, right? And I get that new players will get to see blitz and they'll go, right, yes, my card does the thing. And as a new player, that's great, right? I've taught people how to play the game. So now I'm going to come on to the other end of the new player, the teacher, because you cannot learn this game by yourself. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's taught themselves how to play this game. You need somebody to go through how to play this game. See, from a teaching perspective, adding something else in is a nightmare. Before, I had forms, enhances, and responses. I can explain how a form is played by playing a card into card pool as a form, and in the word form, I can explain how that works. Enhance, I can sit down and I can explain the enhanced state. Responses, I leave responses. When I'm teaching new players, I tend to leave responses to the very, very last. Now I've got blitz. So now I need to go, right, I need to teach you form. Then now I need to go to blitz, which I'm still learning myself at this point. Then enhance, then response. Now when I teach somebody how to play this game, I take all words off all cards. Like there's nothing on my cards. It's just numbers. And then I introduce things little by little. So, do you know what? I could probably knock up a couple of blitz decks, right? And we could go that way. Go right blitz. Boom. Your card does a thing. The negative to that is that takes out the key part that makes this game good, and that's interaction. If everything's got blitz, let's say we have got 2 blitz decks playing against each other, right? If everything has blitz, I'm going to play my card that does all its things. Oh, right, cool. We'll go to the enhanced step, and it's just all my foundations. So that happens. You don't get to interact with what I've just done, though. I mean, there'll be responses, I suppose, and stuff.
I was going to say, to be fair, responses still exist.
Yeah, there's going to be responses, right? But I feel like it's taking away interaction in this game.
It's going to have another.
I am doing my absolute damnedest not to be the guy that's going off. He's not on this, right? Because it's my favourite part of this game. It's the only reason I still play is the level of interaction. And I tell everybody that I try and get to play this game. If you played X, if you played Magic, right? Well, you know how that does. You've got the stack and stuff, right? Imagine the stack, but better. Imagine playing blue like all the time. It's great. you get to do things, like you always get to do something.
It just feels off to me because they're going to either have, because if Blitz exists, it just means that there'll have to be more cards with either responses on them to respond to Blitz abilities, or blitzes or cards that say Blitz defense or something like that have to happen to interact in this new step. Is the only thing. It just adds another layer of, as you said, of teaching to the whole game, of learning to the whole game.
It's a new layer. At this point, right, I think it was picked up on that all we've seen right now is Blitz on attacks.
Yeah.
Don't know who it was. Right, so I don't know who it was. What I want to see now is Blitz on a defensive foundation.
Yeah.
If I see that, right, if I see a Blitz on a defensive foundation, superb. I'll play Blitz. That's fine. I'm happy with it. Until I see it on something defensive, what's the point? I'm in your court here. I don't see the point.
It's the way that Blitz is worded. It wouldn't work on a foundation as a problem defensive because it's when unplayed. So it's just going to be response to. It's just going to be more responses for Blitz. It'd be like just playing flash attacks.
So here's
more interaction.
Here's something I can throw out, right? Because this will be interesting to see how you answer this. Instead of Blitz, if it just said first in hand, what do you say?
Right, it doesn't work because it's first enhanced. There's cards with multiple Blitz.
No. This is but there's also multiple cards with both that have 2 first enhances.
It could just say enhance.
I know. So what I'm asking, right, is if they just said first enhance, how does that make you?
It's not the same as first enhance though. It'd just be enhance. Because you do blitz. It's not first blitz and first blitz. It's blitz. It's just EE and a different step.
But what it's allowing a newer player is play out and enhance in an easier segmented order. The reason I say if it just said first enhance as such is essentially that's really what it's saying. But it's not.
But no,
it's not.
No,
it's just enhance before you can enhance. It's faster enhance is all it is.
Yes. It's enhanced before you get an enhance. Yeah.
Why does a card have first enhance? Why is it first enhanced? Yes, it's usually pretty strong.
Yep.
All blitz effects are pretty strong.
Yeah.
So the reason that first enhanced exists is because you need to time when you play that. You don't need to time when blitz is played.
You don't even get a choice actually. As soon as you play the card, it happens.
Shut up, you!
It says it on the card.
I know. I see it in Discord as well. Because I actually genuinely didn't understand at that point. I was like, but it says it's automatic, so it should just happen.
I read the article that read the card and went, huh?
I still need to declare blitz.
Yeah, you still need to say blitz. Your blitz or your response play the card, response on play, blitz, response on blitz, blitz, response on blitz, enhance step, enhance response on enhance. Just more stuff.
I don't think it's going to be that. It'll not affect me. Like
It won't, but I don't see the need for it. It's the main thing. I just don't see the need for it. I know it's aimed for new players, and it's meant to be obviously to get them so you can play a card, feel good. It did its thing when it came in. That's the purpose of it. But generally, I'm going to stop. Can I go on about this keyword?
We could, right? But again, I'm being so objective. I can see both sides of the coin here, and it's unusual because usually I thought I was going to go off in a rant.
You just be perfectly honest. You're so excited. I was like, what's Scott cooking?
I know. No, I'm just excited to be back in the podcast, mate. That was all. And I am.
Oh, he froze again. There goes the Elgin internet.
Too much excitement.
It's too much excitement when the internet decided he's away.
He went to scream reversal. Oh no, he's back.
Scream reversal.
Aye, I know. I'm still gutted, like, because I genuinely thought I was getting something.
I can't believe you thought
when I was reading that article. It's got
But you know what
I thought it was actually a game format as well.
But you know what
Blitz is a game format.
It's quite interesting, right? It's the idea of wanting reversal back, but Blitz is like something that
don't you dare equate them.
Play. No, I'm not equating them. I'm equating the skill jump, which has been applied as such. Like, you're wanting something that's a lot more uninteractable long term. Always has been. Like, to something that's just coming in and doing something. You know?
I don't think it's a problem. I don't. Let's say I'm not saying it's a problem. I have got to teach a new player something. Reversal's a thing that you pick up when you're picking up keywords. Obviously, Blitz is a keyword, right? So, aye. Right, but you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You leave reversal until they've played lots of games. Is the difference? You leave that in its box for a while.
The hardest thing to teach in this game that I've always found, right, is blocking. And every time that I've tried to teach how to block, I've always had confusion, and it's not even that difficult. You add that number, and you add that number.
It depends how you add those numbers and how you check it.
You try. It's just you're obviously trying to teach how that is done, and then you just tack reversal onto that. Blitz is something that I need to learn. I don't really need to learn it because it just happens. I go blitz. Oh, I'm not bothered blitzing this time, right? But for teaching people, I need to now learn how to teach that. I've already taught reversal. I can teach it again. So now I need to learn how to teach blitz. That's what I was getting at. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing. I'm indifferent.
I am just in the camp of I just don't see what it adds to the game overall. But it'll be fine to play with. It won't be the hardest thing that most people pick up. It just doesn't feel like it gains anything overall. That's the main thing for me. It could have just been easier. And that wouldn't have changed the game in any way.
And I'm the opposite.
A new player just has to learn ease and eyes anyway.
So I'm the opposite of Adam, but I'm like, I think it gains his players. But
that's fair.
That's its
3 opinions. That's what we want. Aye.
Yep.
We got a new symbol actually as well. There's a new tap symbol.
Yes.
Some of the cards has a wee card going sideways. Yeah. People hate it. I don't care. But some people hate it online. Because it's no longer just a wee arrow.
I'm so glad it's a symbol. Yeah. So glad. Scott not seen this yet?
I know. I'm actually want nervy symbols.
I want symbols. Symbols.
I like the wee tap symbol.
Symbols mean not as many words on cards. The reason why I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right?
You don't talk about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Like, I don't want to be reading massive paragraphs just to say the card turns to the side.
That's true.
Aye.
Well,
So my only issue with it is that I think I've not obviously I'd need to see it in person in a card, but I think it might be too small.
I think it's
I think it'll be
it's-
missed. I think
I
it'll be
that's
missed.
yeah, I think that's the only thing when I looked at it as well. Turning arrow for commit, and that was everyone was used to it. But now you've got a card on top of that, so yeah, it's a bit cluttered is the only thing, but people get used to it. As long as you don't bring untapping, when it goes the other way, we'll be fine. Again, Magic did it. They had tap and untap. They got rid of untap abilities because it was broken.
Yeah, well, as Scott says, I think it'll be actually very interesting to see it in person. Because obviously I'm looking at it right now on a card that's on a 72-inch monitor. It doesn't look that bad right now. but yeah, in a small card form, smaller than my phone, potentially it could be too small. But I think if we take the concept of what they did with symbols, they clearly are not upset by the idea of having to make things bigger as well.
Yes, they've definitely got things that could change and go back on. I think as well one of the takeaways was from what we heard from all the creators humming and hawing kind of thing of can he talk about this nonsense was there's a lot of things in this Attack on Titan thing that might we never signed an NDA. Apparently there's a lot of things they're testing in this set that will either just stay exclusive to AOT or might leave it for sets. We'll have to see what happens the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it as well, right? If that's something that they have kind of said, I mean, things like Blitz, for instance, might not come in every set.
Yeah, exactly. It might be one of the things you test out.
Here's the big set, kind of like the set one-ish kind of scenario, where it's like, here's some stuff in it, new players get some new stuff, and then it's like, right, now into the big bad world, where maybe he's getting reversal back.
Look, if they ever say we're printing a Soul Calibur set, everyone runs for the bunkers because it's the most broken shit they ever print. I will nitpick. I do have two more cards to nitpick. Just because they're funny. You've got the horse that's a ranged attack, somehow, and the size advantage card, which is a ranged attack. He's kicking the gate. Why is it not a kick?
Oh, why is it not a kick? What one is that?
Size advantage. He's kicking the gate in, but it's ranged.
Aye. He did it for 10 feet away.
Far away. But still, it's a kick. I also want to know what the horse is packing to have a range keyword on that one. That was just too funny one to thought. I almost feel like they need to make the keyword bite for this though, because all the Titans do is bite things.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That's something that would be interesting to see if we get more keyword traits for this set.
I mean, again, lots of things bite.
Yeah.
They're probably not thought about it. But again, I'm not going to speculate because I don't do speculation. I do what I know.
Yeah.
Even when we don't know much. I said we don't know much.
So I think we'd be better off wrapping them up there, mate.
Yep.
We've spoken long enough.
I'm sure Connor has an OBS flashing at him in red. Good God, stop.
Space.
So, on that note, that's your thoughts on the reveals as of today. There'll be more reveals happening. I don't know when this is actually going out. Hopefully as soon as possible.
Yeah, hopefully.
So that is your thoughts. Feel free to get in touch with me. Like, I'll happily talk to people about it. Bosch678 on the main Discord, Bosch678 everywhere. Or even if you try and get me on Facebook or something in one of my comments, like I'm happy to talk about it.
Start a fight with them in Discord.
Yeah, I definitely. Well, obviously there'll be if on YouTube there'll be comments below to comment on us here.
Just before you guys get in there, I seem to have this reputation, right? I don't know how that I am a menace in the main Discord. Now, if anybody agrees with us, please let me know. Right, that's in that
two
main
people
Discord.
Here agree.
That's interactive. Aye. Anybody else that has interacted with me in that main Discord, because I don't think I am. I think I'm pretty all right in there. I don't think I'm that bad. I've had wee rants and stuff now and again, but I don't argue with people. In fact, I have maybe had one instant. But
Yeah, you have. I could call you out.
but aye, please feel free to get in touch with me.
Well, aye, so as I said, there's comments below. I'm sure if this is on YouTube, please feel free to let us know. Or as I said, there's Discord. That is, and he'll fight you in the general chat. And the rest of us are happy to comment too.
Definitely. So yeah, we'll try and get this up for tomorrow/Friday. So this will go to YouTube. Obviously, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe, like and comment video, and share it about. You know, send it to your gran. You know, so she can get into the game. You know, we've got Blitz now. We can explain it to her. So
that might be too fast for her.
So yeah, no, we are back and running. We'll be getting more topics. If there's videos you would like us to see make as well, put it in the comments as such. Between like the 9 of us that operate the channel, one of us is bound to see it, you know, and make it probably happen. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for joining. Again, Scott and Adam, thanks for joining us. And hopefully we can try and do this weekly.
It should be fine.
Yeah.
Just depends what part of the country Scott's in.
So yeah, we're going to try and make this weekly with other videos and stuff. So, thank you very much everyone for joining us. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next video. Bye everyone.
See you later, everyone.